All right, this is smarter here. Why red states are turning blue. Ellen West explains on Huckabee.
Trump did in his State of Union address. The message is getting out into the black community that these other guys have been duping us for quite some time.
Colonel, great having you here.
Thank you.
Look at these folks. They love Alan West.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
That is awesome.
It's a pleasure.
This is the 123rd episode. I've never gotten a standing ovation. I just want to throw that. Now, you know what? You deserve it. And I'm thrilled, seriously, to have you here because you've taken stands in your long military career, but you've also served this country as a member of Congress.
Yes, sir.
You've been an outspoken person when it comes to the issues that face this country. You speak with some authority on an area that I think is really coming into its own. African Americans are now more than ever giving conservatism a listen. Why?
Well, I think that when you look at the fundamental principles and values of the black community, and I was born just right down the road in Atlanta, Georgia. As a matter of fact, it was 59 years ago today that I was born in Atlanta, Georgia.
This is his birthday.
This is his birthday. He's 59 years old.
Pretty good. Can't think of a better way to spend your birthday than with us.
But think about the greatness of America in that on 7 February 1961, I was born into a blacks-only hospital. But now I'm sitting here with a man that was a former governor and a man that was a former presidential candidate, because that's the greatness of America. When we understand our fundamental values of faith, family, individual responsibility, quality education, small business entrepreneurship, and service to the nation. So I think that more people in the minority communities are understanding that. And when you look at what President Trump did in his State of Union address, giving that opportunity scholarship to that young girl in the 4th grade, recognizing a Tuskegee Airman and promoting him to Brigadier General, and all of those things he has done, the historic black colleges and universities, the economic opportunity zones that took a veteran that had a drug addiction, and now he's back on the right path. The message is getting out into the black community that these other guys have been duping us for quite some time.
I thought a very...
Duping us. They're pulling our chains. They're jerking us around. They're lying to us.
powerful moment was his recognition of the First Step Act. There are a lot of people who have been incarcerated. There's some people that needs to be incarcerated, you know, dangerous people.
Sure.
But there's some people that were incarcerated for small crimes, but they didn't have good legal representation. They basically were thrown away. Alice Johnson.
Absolutely.
Is a great example. Nonviolent drug offender, was there for life because of harsh sentencing. The president's program, which was bipartisan, was able to give her a whole new life with her family again. That's got to be resonating out there in the community.
It's resonating in an incredible way. And I want to do this by comparison. Think about this. The quote-unquote first black president of the United States of America, Barack Obama, in April 2009, he canceled the D.C. school voucher program. But he sent his daughters to Sidwell Friends, a very prestigious school.
Very private and very expensive.
Very private and very expensive. But yet you saw the guy that they say that is a racist in front of the entire world give an opportunity scholarship to a young girl in Philadelphia whose mother is doing everything she can for her to have the equality of opportunity that this country affords.
You are running for chairman of the Republican Party of the state of Texas. And I want to call attention, you've written a book called Hold Texas, Hold the Nation. I mean, a lot of us are looking at Texas. It's getting a little scary over there. It used to be a very conservative, solid, red kind of state. What's going on in Texas?
Well, big concerns. In 2018, the Republican Party in Texas lost 12 state House seats, 2 state Senate seats, 2 U.S. congressional seats, 56 judgeships. You know about Fort Worth, Tarrant County. O'Rourke, he won Tarrant County. Ted Cruz didn't even win Tarrant County. What is happening in Texas is much the same as you have seen in Nevada or Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Virginia, is that people are fleeing from these failed economic states, and they are coming into states like Texas and others where there is great opportunity for economic growth and prosperity, But for whatever reason, they're coming still with those same failed policies and beliefs. And then also on top of that, you look at our college campuses, our university campuses, and now even down to the middle school level. I think that one of the most important elected positions in the country is school board.
Absolutely.
But the position that has the least amount of voter participation is school board.
Yeah.
So we have got to start making sure that we get those fundamental principles and values back into our education system, which now has become a system of indoctrination. But we also got to ask people, like you and I were talking before we came out here.
Wow, quote unquote, our educational system has become an indoctrinational system, liberal indoctrination. I'll say the words you won't, liberal indoctrination. What a flag.
Why did you leave where you were? Because I remember when God told Lot's family one little thing, when he was destroying Sodom and Gomorrah, don't look back. So why are these people looking back?
Because they're taking the politics of California and New York and hauling it into Texas and Florida and Nevada and these places. Did they not make the connection that it was the high taxes, the over-regulatory environment, the government nanny state, not being allowed to protect their own families with the use of the power of the Second Amendment, that caused them to say, we're done with this, we're out of here. And then they go and take those very political ideas and put them in a state?
It makes no sense. You know, Texas has the 10th largest GDP economy in the world, larger than Canada, larger than Russia. 10% of Fortune 500 corporate headquarters are located in Texas. Toyota North America just left California and moved to Plano, Texas. But yet those employees that came with Toyota North America's headquarters are going in and still thinking like they're in California, because the corporate business leaders are not talking to the employees and saying, this is why we're leaving California, or this is why we're leaving Illinois and New York. And you see the exact same thing happening in Florida, people coming down I-95, even here in Tennessee or North Carolina. So I think it's very important for us to say, hey, look, we got a good thing going in these states, and we don't want to become the next Virginia.
I would hope people would start realizing that. The president got about 8% of the African-American vote in 2016. There are predictions, and Van Jones, who is certainly no fan of the president, but he's an honest guy, and I like Van. He's personally a decent guy, very liberal, and he's saying to his fellow African-Americans, we better wake up. What's happening that he's seeing that a lot of these other folks in the other party don't seem to be seeing?
Well, they're seeing results. I mean, he is seeing the results. But for whatever reason, you saw those faces that were there, Congressional Black Caucus faces, when you are telling folks that you have the lowest unemployment rate in history, that historic black colleges and universities are finally getting federal support instead of going under. He is, you know, when he said in 2016 in North Carolina, what have you got to lose? He has backed it up, though. And no one else has ever had the courage to say that and then follow it up with the right policies. So that has a lot of people nervous, because if President Trump gets anywhere north of 10% with the black community, it's over. Game, set, and match for the Democrats.
And he is on track.
I think he's on track to do better than that. Do better than that.
Track to get well beyond the 10% if things keep going like they are.
I predict that President Trump will get 20 to 25% in the November election from the black community.
That would be...
Wow, 20 to 25%. Wow. See what happens.
Not only historic, it would be a game changer for a presidential candidate. You were in the military a long time. You saw good commanders, rough commanders. You've seen it all. Tell me what you think the president has done right in relationship to the military.
When you don't pick up the paper and you hear about ISIS or terrorist attacks, he has said to the military leaders, go out there and take care of it. I will give you whatever resources you need. He has rebuilt the capability and capacity, the insidious rules of engagement. For instance, you can't fire upon the enemy until they'll fire upon you. And the fact that we took out a person like Qasem Soleimani, who is responsible for 18 to 20% of the deaths and the maimings of our troops in Iraq. And you can go all the way back to the Beirut barracks bombing, 1983. Qasem Soleimani, Hezbollah, all his hands were all over it. So he has unleashed our military to do what they're supposed to do. Go out there and engage the enemy and fight them, destroy them, and kill them. And that's what we're trained to do. And thank God we have a president that understands that.
Wow, what a statement. I'm going to end it here. But if Trump is on target to do 20 to 25%, according to this guy's estimates, they said it's game over if it reaches over 10%. I believe they will dupe the polls and rig the elections. But I believe he will do between 10 and I'm going to say 18%, 15 to 18%, and that's going to be low estimates, but I think it's going to be much more accurate than what the media will actually say. But I think this election will be a game changer for a lot of people. And they better pay attention to what this man's doing because he's a go-getter, gets things done, he's a businessman, and he's a smart politician in ways that these guys never did consider. Anyhow, it's Roger Martin for Billings, Montana. This is Ellen West on the Huckabee Show, Huckabee TV, excuse me. And we'll go from there. Good day.